Robert David Marnie, 36, died on February 13 at the Church Street level crossing. He had been suffering with mental health issues, namely psychosis and schizophrenia, and had tried to take his own life several times before. An inquest into his death took place at Essex Coroner's Court in Chelmsford this morning, Tuesday, May 29. The court heard that before Mr. Marnie committed suicide, several concerned passers-by tried to talk him out of lying in front of the incoming train. One of those who showed concern was Mr. Faith, who saw Mr. Marnie at the crossing on his way home from work. Addressing the court, Sean Carroll, a British Transport Police representative, explained how Mr. Faith was worried that Mr. Marnie was stood too close to the railway line. Mr. Faith spoke to him and Robert assured him he was okay, said Mr. Carroll. He was concerned and rang 101, but as he did so heard the train at the crossing behind him. Flowers were left near where Robert Marnie died. Mr. Carroll also revealed that another witness, Mr. Hoyles, initially talked him off of the tracks. However, Mr. Marnie returned to the crossing. He did get off the track, but as Mr. Hoyles was on the opposite side of the railway line, he did go back onto the track, Mr. Carroll added. At the time of his death, Mr. Marnie was living on High Street, Kelvedon, and had graduated with a master's degree in fine art and silk screen printing at Camberwell College of Arts. His mother, Brandy Francis, also spoke during the hearing and explained how her son had told her he needed to go for a walk as he was feeling anxious. She said, "He was very anxious earlier that day. He said he had walked for 3 hours already, so much so that his feet were blistered. He had got socially phobic, so did not go to the gym anymore. I told him, not now Rob, it is getting dark. He said, no, I need to go now, I am anxious and it helps." He left the house that night. "I let him go and I do not know why I did not run after him." In a letter from Ms. Francis that was read out by Senior Coroner Caroline Beasley-Murray, she also described how Mr. Marnie had told her before that he was not willing to live with his illness. Mr. Marnie killed himself by lying on the tracks at the level crossing. Having heard all the evidence, Mrs. Beasley-Murray came to the conclusion that Mr. Marnie had killed himself after battling mental illness. "He was clearly gifted, I can see that, and he clearly was much loved by members of his family," she said. "I would like to express my sympathies to you and hope we will be able to think back upon those good memories you have of him. If you are feeling troubled, you can call the Samaritan's 24-hour confidential helpline on 116,123.